Good morning and welcome to Travels with Monkey Boy. This is the closing part of day 2 of our trip to Madagascar. So the flight to Nosy Be was also an experience. Nosy in Malagai just means island and Be means big. So it is the big island, just like Hawaii. It, it is the #1 resort island in Madagascar. From there, the comparisons to Hawaii stop. Until very recently, it was on the European "Don't Travel Here" list. Typical French overreaction, but I guess a few years ago on the island, a local boy was found dead, washed up on a beach. He had been in the water for a week, so he was in rough shape, but soon a rumor spread around the locals that his kidneys had been removed. Then the rumor went on that a Western doctor was coming to Nosy Be to steal the kidneys of local children. As things happened in Madagascar, an angry mob gathered for this French doctor that was a figment of their imaginations. Fortunately, they found a couple of Western tourists, beat them, stuffed them into trunk tires, and then burned them to death inside the tires to the cheering mob. It was nearly 10 years ago, so the island is now safe to travel to unless, some random local dies in a way that they can't explain. Anyway, the flight, as I said, Danielle was feeling sick, very sick. And about halfway to the island, she said she needed the air sickness bag. She got the bag out of her seat back, opened it up, and there were bugs in the bag. Then I opened up the one in my seat back and bugs too. Madagascar just can't stop being Madagascar. We arrived at the airport in Nosy Be, and I had arranged in advance to have a driver pick us up and drive us to the fanciest resort in Madagascar. This was our 20th wedding anniversary and Danielle's 50th birthday, so I thought I would splurge a bit for a super fancy, all-inclusive resort. But getting there was the issue. It was nearly 20 miles away from the airport, and as they had the same road builder as Tana, that meant an hour drive of violent shaking and Danielle coughing to get there. The road passed through the capital of Nosy Be, named, and again, I'm not making this up, Hellville. It pretty much lived up to its name. Unlike rural Malagasy poverty, we drove through many villages where there was not a single pane of glass in the village. This was big city poor, which involved too many people, desperately poor people, walking in the middle of the street between dimly lit bars, dimly lit restaurants, and unlit homes. I was partly saddened at their plight, but also conscious of the fact that if our driver accidentally hit one of them, they would probably stuff us in tires and burn us to death. It was late as we arrived at the hotel, 9 p.m. by my watch. Soon we learned that there were two incredibly weird things about this hotel. Number one, they have their own time zone. When we arrived at the front desk, they said to make sure to set our watches to hotel time, which was an hour later than Madagascar time, and also conveniently had us arrive too late for dinner. Number two, there is a weekly flight direct from Rome to Nosy Be. 80% of all tourists on the big island come from Italy. Most of the islanders speak Italian. Almost no one speaks English. Every Thursday, 300 Italians arrive, and every Wednesday, 300 Italians depart. So random. The day ended with my poor sick bride saying to the woman at the front desk that she didn't have energy to eat or drink anything, and we just wanted to get to our room. I asked about room service, and they had none, or a minibar in the room. Note, I had written this very fancy hotel several times in the past month, telling them of our arrival and that it was our anniversary and Daniel's birthday, so please make it special for us. They assigned us the room that was literally the furthest away from the bars, restaurant, activity areas to help me build up anticipation, I guess, in our long walk to the room. The room was on the second floor, so no walkout patio to the beach. The sheets were stained with blood. There was a tea kettle base, but no tea kettle. There were flowers on the bed, but bugs all around the flowers. The towel in the bathroom was torn. There were 2 pillows in the whole room for the 2 of us. Finally hitting my Madagascar breaking point, I went down to the front desk and started shouting at people. They got the manager on the phone, an Italian woman, who said, "I don't understand what you're complaining about. All the rooms are equal." Eventually, they set the entire housekeeping staff to a room. They brought a tea kettle. They threw away the buggy flowers. They brought fresh sheets for the bed, which also had bloodstains on them. Then they brought a third set of sheets, which had a big hole in it, at which point poor sick Danielle just said, leave it. We got 2 extra pillows, though we had to wait a half an hour longer because they couldn't find pillowcases. And at that point, we collapsed in exhaustion. This $250 a night luxury hotel suite in a country where $1 a day is the average income was now up to the standards of a Motel 6 back home. Still, the bed was nice, and honestly, it can't get worse from here. No, not more foreshadowing. It was all pretty great after this. That's it for the day. Hope to talk to you again tomorrow.